Anniversary imminent. The rain was pouring heavily through the congested traffic that was moving slowly in the city. Asha and her family were on a drive to their favorite Chinese restaurant downtown to celebrate her parents' 25th anniversary. Asha is the eldest child and she is 24 years old and she has two younger siblings. Asha's brother's name is John and he is currently studying in college, whereby her sister Esther is currently in her last year of high school. Asha loves her family dearly. Asha's parents are quite wealthy as they own a famous supermarket in town. Asha and her siblings are very loving and close with one another. While on their way to celebrate her parents' anniversary, Asha and her family were having a great time singing a song that was playing on the radio. They were all having the best time as a family when they suddenly heard a loud car honk. A bright light shot their parents' eyes before everything went blank. Asha suddenly felt a flash in her eyelid and she opened her eyes slowly. She was terrified to see herself covered in blood. There was blood draining through her legs, and when she realized, she felt an excruciating pain in herself. She felt as if her leg was cut into half. She started to panic and tried to find for her family members. She kept mumbling the word, Mom, Dad, Esther, John. She was so scared and terrified, thinking that something might have happened to them. The doctor kept trying to calm her down, but she wasn't convinced. The last thing she remembered was entering a room on a wheelchair. The room said emergency. When she opened her eyes again, she let out a breath of relief when she saw her sister Esther laying right beside her. Esther still hasn't wake up, so Asha started looking around the room when the doctor arrived. Esther woke up just a while after the doctor walked into the room. The doctor, Dr. Philip, started checking both their reports and writing down something. Asha then asked the doctor if she could see her parents and her brother. The doctor's face instantly changed.
The loss. He seemed a little worried and looked at the nurse. Dr. Phillips turned to Asha and told her the last word Asha would ever want to hear. I'm sorry to say this, but your parents died during the car crash. We could only save you and your two siblings. Asha felt the whole world shattered in front of her. They were everything Asha and her siblings had, and now they literally had nothing. The grief was so strong that it became a nauseating pain in herself. She could take it. Tears rolled down her cheeks like waterfall. She could stop crying. She felt breathless and the world spun around her. Then everything went blank. Asha fainted. This pain was clearly even worse than the physical pain she was having. She was heartbroken, so does her siblings. Asha's sister cried so much that at one point she started vomiting. Asha and her siblings were very depressed and lonely. All they had were their parents. They had cousins and well-wishers but stood by them as they were all alone. All three siblings finally got discharged and went back home with tears in their eyes. For the first time, their house looked so empty. It was like all the lights that strode through their house is not working anymore. They were very devastated that no one cousin came by to visit and console them. Asha was feeling very low for a few weeks. She took a break from work and stayed in bed all day crying. But one day she woke up and saw both her siblings sitting in the living room sad and hungry. Asha felt heartbroken and at that moment she decided that she will take up responsibilities after her parents as the eldest child. She started to get herself together and move on with life. She went to work the next day and got some groceries. On the back home she learned cooking and kept the house clean. Asha became a very responsible and mature person.
Betrayal. Asha's parents are rich and possess great wealth. Asha was becoming a better version of herself and she had a downfall. Following the accident of her parents, they were oppressed by other family members as well. Their family members tried to take all their compensation money that was entitled to them. The same family that did not even visit them after their greatest loss came back only to take the compensation money from them. They acted like they were like to give a helping hand and did all the paperwork. They tried to convince both of Asha's siblings and take away all the money that was entitled to them. Although at one point Asha was almost convinced in their acting and believed them, deep down she knew she can't trust anyone. Asha decided to do some survey on the paperwork and work with the doctor to go through everything thoroughly. When the lawyer got back to her, she discovered that all they were doing was to scam Asha. Asha confronted her family about the fraud and they tried to brush it off, but after insisting for an answer, they reluctantly agreed that they were trying to scam Asha for the money, saying that they never liked Asha and her parents anyways because they were jealous of how rich they were. Asha was foaming with rage and shouted to them to get out of her house. They insisted on staying, but she threw them out and shut the door on their face. She was even more heartbroken as this day could get any worse, mumbled Asha in a low, shaky voice. Asha could feel her leg lose balance and she was mentally and physically tired. She stumbled to to the floor and cried her heart out while her siblings hugged her to comfort her.
The next day, Asha and Esther went to meet the lawyer. They discussed and found out that the family has made fraudulent papers and has took a sign from Esther and John. Only Asha was left to be cheated on before they were caught red-handed. They immediately decided to bring this issue to the court as they did not want to lose the compensation money that rightfully belongs to them. Asha's lawyer fought for the case as much as he could. He gathered all false information stated and the scamming their family has done. John and Esther told the judge how they were manipulated into this trap and they had set for these innocent people. The family is really heartless. These children has lost their parents and the only thing this family is doing is to go behind their back to scam them. The first time the issue was brought up, this case was given time to be examined truly. After 2 week time, the case came back to the court. All of them has to go. After 2 week time, the case came back to court and all of them has to go to the court for the hearing. Their family was very confident that they are about to win the case. Just after 30 minutes into the court, Asha's lawyer fought for this case and fortunately Asha won the case. Asha and her siblings were jumping up and down with joy as a celebration to the victory. Asha, John, and Esther went back home that day with a big smile on their face and satisfaction in their heart as they won the compensation that they rightfully here to receive it. They then decided to have a small party among themselves as a celebration. They invited some friends and arranged a sweet evening party for a group at least 20 people.
The outset. At the party, Asha decided to announce an important announcement to the crowd. First thing that she said was Esther has completed her high school and got a scholarship to study in overseas. She is going to fly to Australia to continue her higher studies, but at the same time, she was reluctant to fly over to Australia for studies. Esther does not want to leave her siblings here and go far away. Aisha was over the moon and very proud of her sister. Aisha was looking at Esther from a distance. That beautiful smile and that intelligent mind deserve a place that appreciate it the most. Aisha thought to herself. The love Aisha has for Esther and John is unimaginable. She would do anything in the world to see both of them smile. After a while, Aisha climbed up to the stage and invited her siblings up to the stage. Asha then made the second and unexpected announcement, which then she took the mic and said, "Hey guys, I like to announce that it's not just Esther that will be moving to Australia. My brother and I will also be going with her. This will be a great chance for us as well. I can't stay away from my siblings. They are more like a child to me. I love them with all my heart and will support their dreams despite any obstacles that comes in the way," said Aisha. That weekend, Asha, Esther, and John took off to Australia to start their new life. With lots of dream and grief left behind, she left for the well-being of all people. Asha is the best sister and daughter anyone could have wished for. All the three siblings lived a joyful and luxury life at Australia with their hair they possess.